So we finally got hard mode news, boys. I may have spoiled myself a little bit. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I got serious Diablo 2 vibes, except with more endgame. Alright. Announcing Ruthless. Wait a bit. Oh, wait. That guy's got a meeting. Wait, that guy's got a meeting, chat. That guy's got a meeting. Alright, we're just gonna wait. He'll be like 10-15 minutes, okay? Just wait for his meeting. But yeah, you know, how's it? I'm just kidding. Alright, let's go. Announcing Ruthless. Ruthless, previously codenamed Hard Mode, is an additional character creation flag alongside Hardcore and Solo Self-Found that allows you to opt in to extreme item scarcity and various other changes. For the record, I won't be doing alpha unless I can stream it. I don't want to like use my streamer privilege to get into an alpha and have like an advantage over people that don't have alpha either. What Ruthless is not. So this I like this part. Ruthless is not for everybody. If you don't like the sound of it, then get good. It's like hardcore or solo self-found. Some players really enjoy the additional constraints as a way of enhancing their game experience. Many players do not, and that's okay. Ruthless is not a replacement for regular Path of Exile. So I will be league starting Ruthless, I'm pretty sure. I don't see why I wouldn't. But this is, I mean, it's gonna completely change the way I approach Path of Exile for a league. It's gonna be completely different. It's gonna be weird. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know if I'm gonna play hardcore solo self-found or hardcore trade. You know, it's like, it's one of those things where if like everyone's keen on trade, then I'm keen on trade, you know? Ruthless is a mode about friction, tension, and anticipation. It's brutally difficult, but overcoming that difficulty feels highly rewarding. My original hope for Ruthless was I wanted it to be super extreme, no ascendancies, no Atlas tree. I want the campaign to be the main game. And I do want there to still be like some sort of end game, but I don't want like Ubers to be a part of it. I don't want it to be campaign only, but I don't want there to be Ubers because at the moment, the entire game is balanced essentially around the Ubers. Like people complain about their builds, not because they can't do Maven, but because they can't do Uber Maven. And that's a problem for Ruthless, because if it's actually accessible and possible to do the Ubers, that breaks the whole game mode. It's basically a dogshit version of current POE. I don't want it to be a dogshit version of current POE. I want it to be different. It's brutally difficult, but overcoming that difficulty feels highly rewarding. In a world where your items are far below par, every item drop has the potential to be the breakthrough one you need. Ruthless is a mode that reimagines traditional understanding of where Path of Exile's endgame is. It redefines the entire game as the— see what I mean? Like that's what I want. Redefines the entire game as the endgame. Even reaching higher campaign acts, let alone max, is an achievement. Traditionally, weak items are suddenly very valuable. High-level characters and good rare items infer immense bragging rights. Ruthless is a mode where you barely find any items. You might get to Act 4 without equipping a pair of rings, but each ring you find represents a huge power boost. Ruthless is a mode where most items are normal rarity. This part is weird. I have to admit, this part is weird. You don't see a lot of magic items and even fewer rare items. But finding a rare item of a base type you're looking for feels amazing. Ruthless is a mode where you find very little crafting currency. You might only find one orb of alchemy throughout the whole campaign. I totally get this take too, because imagine it— I mean, we kind of have alks in D2, but they take like hours to get. This sounds really cool and potentially fun to watch for viewers. Excited for it even though I don't play it because I'm trash. Well, I think the beauty of this is it doesn't necessarily have to be a hard game. Is D2 harder than Path of Exile? No. Does D2 have the same endgame that Path of Exile has? No. And that's why. Like, imagine if Path of Exile was just the campaign. D2 would be harder than POE, right? And so I think this is about changing how we define what the game's difficulty is, essentially, if that makes sense. Act 10 races and Ruthless will be fun. Well, I'm hoping it's hard enough that like it actually takes a long time to get to Act 10 and beat Act 10. Like I'm hoping, even with terrible gear and everything, I'm hoping it still takes more than like 4 hours. I would be hoping for at least like 10 to 12 hours. The core Ruthless experience is that you don't have strong enough items to handle the content. Every item that drops has the potential to be an upgrade to your current gear. It's very interesting timing, because I saw on the Path of Exile subreddit there was the Asmongold's take about identifying items. The reason identifying items is bad is because you can't really realistically find an item on the ground that's better than what you've got. It's just really not likely. It's possible at the start of the league, obviously, but then after that, it's irrelevant. But in this version of Path of Exile, you won't have that problem. In Ruthless, getting items from the core drop pool is a valuable reward, especially when there's an item rarity bonus. Many deterministic items like divination cards or onigoroshi cannot be obtained. I love this as well, by the way. Love this as well. Divination cards are really fun in current version of PoE, but they brick so many systems. Starforge and Voidforge, specifically Voidforge, was actually a good item, and then they made a div card for it, and it became so common. Like, let's say that you've got a niche build-defining item that's actually powerful, but it's common, it's instantly bad. You know, there are countless examples of this. Limited crafting. In Ruthless, most of your items come from killing monsters. It's hard to find magic, rare, and uniques, and it's even harder to craft. The drop rate of crafting items has been massively decreased. Wait, am I reading last league's patch notes? In Ruthless, skill gem drops matter. Support gems matter a whole lot. Gems cannot be purchased from vendors. The Fixture of Fate and Death and Rebirth quests each award you a token that can be traded to Sayosa for any skill gem, 31 or lower. Support gems, however, can only be found as random drops. You cannot obtain them deterministically. This is insane. Oh god, I hope they don't have Arch Nemesis. Oh, they're gonna have Arch Nemesis in this, aren't they? Oh, that would be rough, actually. Yeah, actually, once again, the only thing that has me less excited for this is Arch Nemesis. That's funny, actually. I forgot Arch Nemesis would exist in this game mode too. I hope Arch Nemesis is changed in the core game too. Flasks and life mana are not restored. Now this is also a Diablo 2 take, and this is just pain champ, but whatever. They're not restored upon entering town or hideout. Vendors that sell flasks can refill them for you. This incentivizes the strategy of using portal scrolls as an instant full heal. Onslaught does not grant movement speed. This relates to the absence of movement skills. So this take is obviously just because if you remove all movement skills, well, that's fine, right? Because the best movement skill in Path of Exile is running, right? If you have 500 movement speed, the game it looks insane. I don't know if you've ever seen lab runners before, but yeah, once you have like enough movement speed, it actually trivializes mobility, like movement skills. But obviously they're trying to nerf that too. If you die near a quest boss in a campaign, a chunk of its life is recovered. I just think this should be part of the game in general. Content from past leagues is encountered less often than in regular Path of Exile. You do not accumulate free daily Atlas missions. Vile side areas and killing and instilling orbs do not exist in Ruthless. You'll also use a separate item filter. If players use regular PoE ones, then they would filter out items that are very useful in Ruthless. So that's what Ruthless is. I'm assuming there'll also be some ascendancy changes. There must be, surely. Again, I'm genuinely surprised they're leaving ascendancies in. Ruthless timeline. We expect to public release Ruthless alongside the 3.2 expansion in December. The first league with Ruthless active will still be deemed a bit of a beta test, and hence we will not be afraid of making mid-league adjustments. I don't know if we're doing trade or SSF. SSF hardcore, Ruthless, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I really do like the idea of playing as, in trade with everybody, but I'm gonna make a Reddit thread on how dumb Ruthless is, and you're gonna upvote me, and I will downvote you, motherfucker. I'm refreshing right now. Downvote equals disagree button. Am I right? Am I right, guys? Am I right? Ruthless is a mode where you aren't expected to get to maps, and even if you do get to maps, you're probably not gonna reach red maps. Will anyone manage to kill pinnacle bosses? Will anyone even see an uber pinnacle boss? Yeah, look at the first comment's positive too. Actually, did it get downvoted? I don't even know. What does Reddit think? Do I dare click? Do I dare click? Do I dare click to see another 0? Do I dare click? Check, you coward. 0. Oh, not 0. There's a 0 in there, but it's not a bad 0. Oh shit. That's cool. People are excited to see people suffer. That's cool. That's not by controversial. This sounds so stupid, and I can't believe that's how we entered this. I'll be interested if we can get player numbers after the meme wears off. I'm willing to bet this list in Battle Royale. See, this is the kind of person that only thinks in numbers. This person's entire life is like Twitter upvotes, Reddit upvotes, Steam charts. Take this number, little bish. Anyway, I'm not gonna read all the negative comments. These people are sad. Let's move on.